Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the end of the fourth edition of the Software-Defined Space Conference here in Tallinn. I'm here with the organizer of the first 4 sessions, I should say, Paul, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, of the Software-Defined Space Conference. At least you are the initiator.
Exactly. Maybe to say that the organizer is too much because others have done the real work, but maybe I have been the initiator of the format, of the content, and I think I'm very proud of what we have achieved so far. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that, but let's start at the beginning. The first Software-Defined Space Conference wasn't called the Software-Defined Space Conference. Tell us a little bit about that.
Exactly. It's maybe a longer story, but at first we were really focusing more on cybersecurity, and during the first conference we understood that it's more than just only cybersecurity, that it's more about also the software development, how we use space, how we regulate space, all the opportunities, because if we are talking only about cybersecurity, it's only threatening what are only the threats and how horrible the world is, but actually it's more beautiful. The opportunities are in different sectors, in Earth observation, in satellite communication, and also in the gaming industry. So let's talk about the positive side, and of course be aware that there are the potential cyber threats and how to overcome these. So therefore, after the first session, we started to rebrand it and called it the Software-Defined Space Conference. And of course, I remember back 4 or 5 years when we started to organize it, and it was the really heavy COVID time. So there were so many restrictions, people were not able to travel. And the first one was a hybrid one, with a focus on a really virtual one actually. So only part of the presenters, speakers were here in Estonia, in Tallinn, and but the majority of participants had to listen in online. So the second session was again with different, so the main focus was that everyone was in Tallinn and part of the audience was somewhere abroad and speakers. But now, after the 2 years, we decided to go 100% on site and no hybrid format, because it's not the best thing for having a live discussion.
Now let's stay at the beginning, before the first edition. Why did you feel you needed to organize this series of conferences?
Exactly. We started to think about our own space conference already in 2019 when we started to work on the space policy, because we saw that space cybersecurity will be one of the topics. And back then there weren't that many conferences, especially in Europe, focusing on space cybersecurity and software development topics. And it was more exactly the idea to create a forum with lively discussions, not only academic presentations, but really exchange of ideas, thoughts, what can be done, and building a network there. Of course, what happened was COVID, so many things were delayed, and I remember that the first conference was done in really very complicated hybrid format in Tallinn. And back then it was named Space Cybersecurity Conference. I don't remember exactly it was a long name, but during the conference and preparing for it, we understood that actually it's a lot more than only cybersecurity, because if you're talking only about cybersecurity, it's like we are selling threat and fear. Oh, how horrible everything is, but actually if you want to really achieve it, you need to understand where are the opportunities. And space cybersecurity, or cybersecurity in general, is just one part of it. And but the opportunities are in the real markets, in Earth observation, real application, in satellite communications, and what we also discussed today, for example, is the gaming industry. Which is also a big thing. So exactly talk about the opportunities and what can be done with software-defined satellites, for example, and have the mix of cybersecurity, law, policy, and the future technologies. And I think in the past now 3 sessions what we have had with the name Software-Defined Space Conference, we have found a very good balance, and every year we are testing around how to make the format even better, having new ideas, Also so basically after every conference we have a questionnaire to our audience, get feedback. One feedback what we have got from the audience is that the audience wants to be more engaged. So now we have also tested different systems how the audience can be more engaged to the panels, have these lively discussions, and I think it helps a lot. So to really have panels without PowerPoint presentations, just a few panelists, and the audience loves it.
That works really nicely. Now, the central theme is still cybersecurity in space. Why is that? Is that the theme that Estonia has picked in its place in the space economy?
Exactly. Again, if we fly back now 5 years ago when we started working on the Estonian space strategy or policy, then we wanted to build on where we are good anyway. And Estonia has a very good reputation in e-governance, in cybersecurity, so we decided, okay, let's go also with that in space. Back then we were one of the few first countries, not really the first one, but one of the first countries start talking about and doing something in space cybersecurity. At first, of course, we were criticized and it was said that, come on guys, there is no market there and why should someone attack a satellite? Today, unfortunately, we have understood that the world is different, but I think it was a very good move already 5 years ago to start investigating in this topic, in this area, and also to prepare our industry to develop space cyber ranges, for example, blockchain technologies connected to Earth observation data. So I think it was a very, very good decision back then. And so we are doing the conference not for me as a ministry employee, but we are doing it for the industry. And also if you want to have the industry to grow in the area of cybersecurity, software development, and also in the area of law regulating, then we need to build exactly this kind of a forum where people come together, exchange. And what we have also learned from the feedback so far is that the industry is very happy about it. Because if you want to do something, then it's clear that Estonian companies cannot do everything by their own. So we need to build connections to the outside world, not only in Europe, but also beyond to the US and so on. And to really bring all the experts together here to Tallinn, let them network, exchange of ideas. Many interesting projects have already started from this conference, and I think it will continue. So if you are someone who is looking for partners and new ideas, what to do in the field of software development, cybersecurity, space cybersecurity, then I think visiting Tallinn end of October and meeting all the cool people is the right thing to do.
Now you kind of alluded to that a little bit. The 5th edition next year, the date was just announced, 28, 29 and 30 of October 2025. So more of the same, what can we expect?
I think it will be never 100% the same. One thing is clear, that we will continue with this kind of cool panel discussions, so no PowerPoint slides at all, and having the audience also engaged. So having the audience as the third or fourth participant to the panels, it's very important, and to use the right software tools for that. For content-wise, definitely education will be a topic, law will be, regulating space will be a topic, and what I really love personally also is gaming industry. So how gaming industry, because it's very much connected to software development, space, and how it can work together, and we don't know. Today we have Earth observation, satellite communications as one of the main drivers of the space industry. But what if the next big thing is actually space gaming? So I think it could be one of the topics, but of course we will again listen to the feedback and see, of course, how in which direction the space economy will go in the next and also the political situation globally, and we are trying to adapt the content accordingly.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Paul, for taking us through the last 4 years, taking us a little bit to next year. Thank you for initiating this. Thank you for bringing the world's attention to the space cybersecurity and all the related topics in relation to the strength of the country of Estonia. So I'm looking forward to more next year.
Thank you, Remco, for coming, and we are always welcome you back here in Tallinn again and covering all the events. And see you soon here in Tallinn.
Absolutely.
So you're welcome.
Next year at the 5th edition of the Software Defined Space Conference.
Good.